Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the very first YouTube videos like what I have promised with you all. So we will start off with the Penyuntingan now, like finally. Okay, so right now we'll be doing the first three questions first. So the first three questions, it will be the Selangor State papers where it will be the 2024 Percubaan SPM. So right now, just take out a set of papers that I gave it to you all in class. Okay, look at the first question here. So for this one, double check your answer. Now, the first kesalahan here, it will be mana. Why? Mana is a kata tanya, isn't it? So as what I told you, for all the kata tanya, it will be in ayat tanya only. Okay. So normally, that's why if it's an ayat penyata, which is a statement, you will not have a kata tanya in it. So if it's anywhere, then it will be mana. Okay, then the next one. Secondly, which one is wrong leh? Is this one, beratus. Okay. Beratus, right, it will be considered as a kata bilangan. But the thing is that this is all like kata bilangan himpunan. We have berjuta-juta, beratus-ratus, beribu-ribu, but you need to remember it must be a kata ganda. It must be a kata ganda. That's why it must be a kata ganda. Beratus-ratus. Okay. Then the next one is kesalahan ejaan lah. Because sunyi, sepi is like very quiet, it's very lonely, very quiet like that. This is not a kata ganda. That's why sunyi, sepi, there is no dash. Only the kata ganda you will have dash in between. Okay, and then the next one is segala sempadan reason. The concept is like this. Whenever you have two words together, okay, these two words is not the kata macam. So whenever you have two words together, the first one, yang pertama dan juga yang kedua. What if the first one's right? It already indicates more than one. What does this mean by it already indicates more than one? So let's say we will have what? So let's say we will have the beberapa, and then we might also have the semua, pelbagai, all this, right? So if we already have more than one, it's in the plural form. So meaning to say, right, we will not have kata ganda after it. Example, whenever this one indicates more than one, then we will not put a kata ganda straight after it. So what would be the words that indicates more than one in the plural form? Like beberapa, like semua. Okay, then kata ganda like what? Kata ganda, let's say murid. So this is wrong, lor. That's why you will never say semua murid mah. You will only mention semua murid sahaja, isn't it? So the same thing. Segala, it means like the whole thing. So the whole thing is like in a plural like that. That's why segala and semua is like the same. So what happened is that after segala, you cannot put sempadan because it can never be a kata ganda. So you will need to remove. Okay, you will need to remove one sempadan. Okay, then the next one, it will be yang, the reason. Yang is a kata hubung pancangan relative. So a kata hubung pancangan relative, it's mainly for the purpose to describe something. So it will be something to do with like kata adjective. Gadis yang cantik itu ialah kakak saya. So yang cantik itu. But right now, membuktikan, it means like to prove. So you want to explain that. The sejarah is to prove that, is to show that. That's why you will need to change to another kata hubung pancangan complement, which is bahawa. Because bahawa in English, it means that. Alright, then the next one here. This one always come up one, so you need to remember. Bergantung, other than like to hook or to hang, right? It will be relying. So it's like relying on bergantung pada. So bergantung pada is forever together one. It's not kepada lah. And normally kepada is like you give someone something. So kepada a character law. Normally you will put character. But pada is more towards like onwards and also attached to. That's why bergantung pada, it means that rely on like that. Okay, then the next one, it will be adalah. we need to change to ialah. The reason is because of the kata pemeri. So as you know lah, the kata pemeri, we will only have two. So one is ialah, and then the other ones, it will be adalah. As for ialah, you can only use it before a kata nama. So after ialah, it must be a kata nama. Okay, kakak saya seorang doktor. And then after adalah, you will have two lah. So either is the kata adjective or the kata sendi nama. And over here, guru is definitely a kata nama isn't it? So that's why it must be ialah guru, because after ialah, it must be a kata nama. Alright. Then the next one is just kesalahan ejaan. Professor in Malay, there is only one S. So please remove off. It's not double S. Then it's dari seorang yang bergelar guru. So the concept for this one will be dari and daripada. And dari, every time we will mention that dari is for ATM, isn't it? So dari is for ATM. And the ATM referring to the arah, the direction, tempat, which means the place, masa, it means the time. But the thing is here lah, seorang yang bergelar guru, it's not arah, tempat, and not masa. So whenever it's not the arah, tempat, masa, we will use daripada. So dari change to daripada. Okay, then the next one is meneliti semula bidang pendidikan kita. Alright. Semula here indicates that it means like again. But it's in Malaysia, right? We must mention about our action first. To complete the actions, and only we will mention again. Just let's say if we wanted to read the passage again. So we will say membaca petikan itu semula. So we will not mention membaca semula petikan itu. Yang ni salah. Because we need to complete the action first, then only we mention again. That's why over here, you will need to remove the semula, because meneliti is like to observe, to check like that. So it will be meneliti bidang pendidikan kita semula. So the semula you need to place behind, because for all the against everything, it must be after the complete action. Okay? Alright, then the next one here, I miss out one is kesalahan ejaan, which is a trend. So the trend here, the spelling, it will be the same as English, because the trend, it will be the kata pinjaman. So kata pinjaman, it means the loan words, yeah? Okay, then the next one, it's the last one if I'm not mistaken, di dalam pendidikan negara. Di dalam pendidikan negara, you will need to change to dalam pendidikan. Okay, why? Reasons. When we will be usually using the kata sendi nama di for tempat, isn't it? So di dalam we will use in two different aspects. The di dalam, one is for place, tempat. And then the other ones, it will be for object. This will only apply for some things that we have a room and it's very spacious one. Let's say like tempats, right? We will mention for a room, bilik. Di dalam bilik, di dalam kelas, di dalam makmal, like that. So it will be bilik. But object is like what? Object is like, let's say the bag, or maybe like a box, di dalam kotak, di dalam bag. And dalam, we will use it for some things that are abstract. So normally some things that are abstract, it might be a process, it could be. So let's say peperiksaan and also like pendidikan. Pendidikan is like education. Peperiksaan is like exam. So this will be some things that are abstract because you know the existence of it, but then you don't really able to touch them. You might experience and you might feel the existence of it, but then you cannot touch them. Another one will be like kehidupan. Kehidupan means the life. So it will be dalam pendidikan, dalam peperiksaan, dalam kehidupan. So di dalam bilik mesyuarat, in the meeting room. Dalam mesyuarat, in the meeting. Okay, so it will be different, yeah? Okay, so how many in totals over here? Let's check. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Yes, so in total, there are 12 kesalahan, 12 kesalahan bahasa, but in exam, you just need to provide 11 will do. Okay? Alright, so the first set we finished. For Selangor, we got 3 sets, yeah? So let's look at another set. Okay, this one. Majelis Perpandaran Sriwijaya. Okay, so let's look at this one. Now, the first one, right, the first kesalahan over here, it will be di bawah. The reason is because, right, di it can be the kata sendi nama. It can also be imbuhan. So if it acts as the imbuhan for sure, it will need to have its the words, I mean like stick together with the words that were no space in between, unless it's a kata sendi nama. That's why over here, di bawah kawalan, it means under the controls of the acts, the law. That's why the di here is not imbuhan. Imbuhan is like what? The kata kerja passive. Dibeli, dibincangkan. That's why there must be a space in between because it acts as a kata sendi nama. And then the next one here is kesalahan ejaan, vandalism. So it will be VAN. Okay. Then we go to the kata pemberi again, adalah. Because the kata pemberi, ialah is for kata nama. Adalah is for the kata sendi nama and kata adjective. Do you see any kata kerja passive over here? Don't have, right? But that is for kata sendi nama ma. So over here, what do? We will just remove off the adalah. Because adalah here not really needed. So you just tick off the adalah. You need to be very careful. Okay. Normally for ialah adalah, the kesalahan is either you change to ialah or you change to adalah. But over here, you can't change to ialah also because ialah can only be used before the kata nama. Okay. All right, then. Now, the next one, so the next one here, we will have this mencat. And then we will need to change to mengecat. It's about the imbuhan. The reasons why do we need to change it and then become the imbuhan menge, it's because of the Tatabahasa say that if there is only one suku kata, that's the imbuhan that you need to add it in, it will be menge. So, menge, the imbuhan plus any words with perkataan dengan satu suku kata sahaja. So, like the pose, boom, mengepose, mengebum, mengecat. Okay, so the concept is like this. Then the next one is kesalahan ejaan. It will be the karikatur. So you will need to change the O to U. All right, then is this. Lain-lain documents. Okay, lain-lain documents here, right? Now, lain-lain, as you know, you will understand as like others, isn't it? Then, in what circumstances lain can be used as a kata ganda? Let's say, Malaysia terdapat banyak makanan yang lazat seperti nasi lemak, kuih goreng, dan lain-lain. Then, like this, in this kind of circumstances, then you can use and others. But if lain, these words, right, it's paired with any of a kata nama, then you need to remember the ones that being duplicates, the ones that being gandakan will never be lain because the concept is like this. The concept, it will be kata nama square together with line. So if it's a kata nama square together with line, then it will be something like this. Document, line. So if you want to mention about other gift or maybe like other incidents, then it will be how line, perkara line, hadiah line. Okay, so the ones that need to be duplicates, gandakan, it will be kata nama instead of the words line. Okay, then after that, it's kesalahan istilah. Why is it an istilah? Because pancaran, it means like the radiations. But right now, you are mentioning about the pancuran air. So the pancuran is like a conduits in which there will be a channel or maybe like a tube like that to convey the water. That's why it's pancuran. It's not pancaran. Pancaran is like a radiation. So let's say the rays or the radiations, pancaran matahari, like the sunlight like that. So it's different. So this will be pancuran. Okay, then kata hubung berpasangan. Sama ada is like whether. So the sama ada here, there is a space in between. And then I need you to take notes as well. Sama ada, right, is a kata hubung berpasangan where they were always used together with what? Sama ada is together with atau. So you will need to be alert because let's say like in exam, they use sama ada. And then after that, the kata hubungs that pair with it, they change to that. Then you need to be alert a bit. Because sama ada and atau, they are kata hubung berpasangan. It means they were used together one. Okay? Just like bukan sahaja malah, bukan sahaja tetapi. So this will be the kata hubung berpasangan. Okay. Then is kesalahan ejaan, this one. Now, for order, whether it's a double K or not, this one, I do not need you to go and memorize. You should remember the technique I asked you to identify one. It's about the imbuhan. Because it's like this. The concept, right? For the imbuhan kan, imbuhan akirana, it will only pair with the imbuhan men or imbuhan ber. So let's say there will only be imbuhan men with imbuhan kan. And also the imbuhan ber with imbuhan kan. Berdasarkan, menjelaskan. But then the imbuhan's like what? Ke, it's paired with an. The imbuhan's like what? Pen, it's paired with an. So we got no such thing as ke kan and pen kan one. But teacher, we got pendidikan no. Pendidikan the kata dasar is what? Which means the root words, okay? Before you added the imbuhan, it's didik D-I-D-I-K. So it's like the pen an together with didik. That's why the pronunciations only you mentioned pendidikan. The same thing. This one is the ke an plus rosak. So how many K? We got only one K. So ke rosak. And then it's imbuhan an. So when you pronounce ke rosakan. So normally in exam, what they love to test you. Kecantikan, mencantikkan. Membanyakkan, kebanyakan. So kebanyakan is only 1K. Kecantikan is only 1K at the end lah, because it's ke-an mah. But membanyakkan, membanyakkan and also mencantikkan, it will be double K lah, because the kata dasar, the root word itself, you end it with K. And then you add the imbuhan kan, another K. Okay? So this is how you remember. Do not go and memorize, okay, kerosakan is 1K lah, and then this is 2K lah. No need. But then you need to remember is the imbuhan is added. Okay, then after that, it will be kesalahan istilah again. The hukum is like in general being punished only mah. But right now you involve what? Money, isn't it? So the money, it will be the penalty. So if it's penalty, didenda. And then one last one is this. Suruhan. Why? Also istilah. Suruhan, you need to change to perintah. Okay, the reason is like this. The reason is because, right, suruhan is just like a general order only. Everybody can ask you to do something one. So there can be suruhan. But perintah, the instructions, right, it's more towards like the law of regulations or maybe like the peraturan-peraturan yang ditetapkan oleh pihak berkuasa ataupun pihak kerajaan. So that's why when it's come to the pihak kerajaan, the pihak berkuasa, then we will mention is the perintah, the instructions given that you need to comply with. But suruhan is just like an order, and orders that everybody can give. But perintah is different. Perintah, it will be like the pihak kerajaan, pihak berkuasa. Okay? So that's the difference of perintah and suruhan. So remember, suruhan it can be sesiapa, anyone. So perintah is more towards the pihak berkuasa. peraturan daripada pihak berkuasa. So the authorities, we can also refer to the governments, pihak kerajaan. Okay? Alright, then the next one here. Now, the next one here, right? Let's look at this one. Selangor Set 3. Okay, so for the Selangor Set 3 here, the first one, what is wrong is the Kesalahan Ejaan. Because bermandi manda, there is a dash in between, so you add the tanda sempang. Then the next one is kehidupan. Okay. Memberikan makanan kepada kehidupan saya di dalam tasik atau aktiviti lain. You see? Aktiviti lain. Just now the ones that we learned. Okay. Kehidupan, it means life of a person. But right now you wanted to mention it's a living creature. So it will be the aquatic one, isn't it? So it will be hidupan. Hidupan means a living creature. But then kehidupan, it just mentions about one life. That's it. So this one you need to change to hidupan. Hidupan air, the aquatic. And then the next one here, it will be di atas. Nah, so di atas, right? Imbuhan di, it will be for the place one mindset. So di atas, right? Let's say if you want to mention that on top, put on top of some object. So let's say di atas almari, di atas katil, di bawah katil. So if it's kecuaian, it's like the carelessness or maybe like the negligence. So this one is not really an object. That's why it will only be atas kecuaian. So we will also mention that terima kasih atas bantuan. So remove the. And then it's mentaati arahan. Reasons we change to mematuhi. Kesalahan istilah. Okay. Mentaati and mematuhi, right? If you look for the kamus, you will find that these two are very similar because both also means that you need to comply or obey with, okay? But the difference is mentaati, the original terms like the kata dasar, taat, it also means that to be loyal. So for all the instructions of arahants, right, you no need to be lawyers for the arahants, but then you need to follow the rules, you need to obey with the rules. But so what do you need to become mentaati? Let's say mentaati perintah Tuhan, okay, the God signal, the God's instructions, or maybe mentaati perintah ibu bapa, mentaati perintah sultan. So it's like the parents and also the kings and also the gods, and only we will need to show our loyalty, isn't it? That's why mentaati, right? It will be something that the loyalty is needed. Okay. 5 marks, and then the other ones is this. Yang dipertua. Okay, the yang dipertua here, I want to explain to you is because the dipertua here, right, the dash, you will need to remove off the dash. And teacher, I thought there will be the words yang dipertua, but then it's together with the dash one, isn't it? Yes, you are correct, but there will be a difference. And what is the difference over here? Okay, let me show you the difference. So let's look at the questions first. And remember, this will be the instructions from who? Majelis Pepandara. Then, come back to this one. Yang dipertua is actually for the ketua. A ketua, the leaders from the organizations or maybe any of the pertumbuhan. So let's say like all the MBBJ, MBSJ, so that one's the the Majelis Perpandaran Sepang sedang. So it will be yang dipertua lah. But that's right, the yang dipertua, it's also ketua, but the ketua is over where? The ketua is like the Dewan Rakyat, Dewan Negara, Dewan Negeri. You know, recently we got a parliament, okay? So like all this Dewan. Then the yang dipertuan, what is the meaning of tuan? Tuan, it means like the master, the lord and the master. One is tuan and one is tua. So the tua, petua, tua it means orang tua like that. So orang yang dipandang atau dianggap tua. Okay, but then tuan is different. Tuan it means the master and the lord. So yang dipertuan, definitely the master of a country, the master of the state, the agong, the sultan, isn't it? That's why yang Tuan Agong and not Yang di-Pertua Agong. So that's the difference of these three. And then remember, all these three, Yang di-Pertuan, Yang di-Pertua, Yang di-Pertua, all together, it's all correct. But then it will be in different contexts. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, so let's move on. Now, so over here we got 5. Do we have 5 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then the last one here, we got 4. Now, the first one, it will be terperosok. And why is it terperosok? Terpijak kulit pisang. Kulit pisang. Now, if you accidentally step at the banana skins, right? So it will be a bit slippery one. So if it's slippery, so when you fall down, you will be, how would you be fall down? It's like you will be falling into a sitting position, isn't it? So if you are falling into a sitting position, then we call it terduduk. It will be 1. But as we do have a synonym, it's either terduduk and another one is terjelepok. So we got 2, okay? Then terperosok, it means like there is a hole and then you accidentally, your leg sunk into the hole. Then it will be terperosok, okay? Then after that, the next one here is disiapkan. Because like the very first questions I told you for the mana, whenever it's not the ayat tanya, then we can't use siapakah, isn't it? But teacher, this is ayat tanya. So if we say tidak ada siapakah yang membantunya pada ketiga itu is correct mah? Siapakah we only refer to a person. But right now, tidak ada, you want to mention is that there will be nobody, none of them. Meaning to say, tidak ada sesiapakah or siapakah. Because siapakah is only referring to one person. But right now, we want to mention is that more than one. Anybody. There will be nobody to help. That's why it's siapakah or sesiapakah. Okay, then after that, the next one here. Aspek keselamatan kanak-kanak masih kurang ibu bapa titik beratkan. Titik beratkan, it means pentingkan. Okay, but they are applying the passive patterns, the ayat passive untuk perkataan yang mengandungi kata ganti nama diri pertama dan juga kedua. Pertama dan kedua, it means all the I and we. Saya, aku, kami, kita. And kedua is like awak, anda, kamu, kalian, tuanku. So, ibu bapa is not considered as the kata ganti nama diri pertama dan kedua. So, if it's in the passive form, your kata kerja, it must have the imbuhan di together with the oleh. So, the correct ones, it will be dititik beratkan oleh ibu bapa. Because this one is not the kata ganti nama diri pertama dan kedua, like saya telah membeli pen. Pen telah saya beli. You can't apply this because you got no kata ganti nama diri pertama dan kedua. And the last one is this. Saling ingat mengingatkan is wrong. The reason is because the concept, like, we will not say saling hormat menghormati mah. Because hormat menghormati is the same as saling menghormati. Hormat menghormati, it means you respect each other. And saling menghormati also to respect each other. So it's the same. Bantu membantu is the same as saling membantu because saling already means each other. And then the dash in between sila also means that each other. That's why we will only mention saling mengingatkan and not saling ingat mengingatkan. So this is wrong. Okay, saling mengingatkan. Okay, so we got 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-da! So we're done with the Selangor set, the 3 sets. So we finished for this one already. Good luck. Okay. All right. So we have finished for this one and then see you in the next video. Bye bye.